Hey, what's going on? It is yours truly, Timothy Tjay Jones. Thank you for stopping by the State of the NFL podcast. I ask that you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This is a channel where we talk about some of the hottest topics in all of the NFL. Hey, what's going on, sports fans? My name is Tjay Jones, and welcome to another edition of the State of the NFL podcast. It's where we talk about some of the hottest topics in all of the National Football League. And just like always, before we get started, I ask that you hit the like and subscribe button. It helps the channel to grow, and I would really appreciate that. Thank you very much. On this edition, we're going to be talking about NFL head coaches that could possibly go into this 2025 season on the hot seat. Look, every single year we see turnover in the National Football League from the head coach's position. It's just something that happens. The NFL is a results-driven league. If you're not doing what you need to do in order to generate success continuously, you can find yourself on the outside looking in. And there are a few coaches that could land on the hot seat if they do not go into this season starting off very, very hot or even ending the season with some prosperity in the form of division titles or the playoffs. The first coach that comes to my mind when I'm thinking about the hot seat is New York Giants head coach Brian Daboll. And this is so crazy because Brian Daboll was hired by the New York Giants. He was, of course, with the Buffalo Bills. He was extremely instrumental in developing Josh Allen. Josh Allen had one of his best statistical seasons of his career under Brian Daboll. And, of course, the Giants hired Daboll because they felt he was the right guy to get the best out of Daniel Jones. And of course, we know that Daniel Jones is no longer with the Giants. He's with the Indianapolis Colts. Brian Daboll, NFL career as a head coach, started off very promising. The Giants went to the playoffs. They got a shocking win over the Vikings. Everybody was just shocked that they actually went into Minnesota and got the win. He was coach of the year. I mean, it just seemed like everything was going in the right direction. It seemed as if the Giants made the right decision. But over the last couple of years, it's been a struggle for Brian Daboll. It's been a struggle for the Giants to find success. It seems like, his personality is kind of clashing with the locker room. And you have to wonder, is this going to be his final season? Now, the one thing that he may have going for him is the Giants drafting Jackson Dart in the first round. And of course, he is known for developing quarterbacks. And maybe he can argue and say, well, this is my guy. This is the guy that I selected, and I can get the best out of him. But right now, it just seems like Brian Daboll is just trying to bring some levels of success to New York. He brings in Russell Wilson, a seasoned veteran, a guy who has won a lot of football games, has won a Super Bowl. He knows how to get it done. And also, they have a really good defense. So, if Brian Daboll cannot get the best out of this team in 2025, he can find himself without a job. And we know that the owner of the New York Football Giants, he already came out and said that he is looking for better results. And if not, then somebody could be without a job. So I feel that Brian Daboll has to be at the top of the list when it comes to coaches on a hot seat. Next coach is a coach that went to the Super Bowl, but he is a coach that, in my opinion, he has got to get it done. And it's even more alarming that he can't because he has one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and that's head coach Zac Taylor. Zac Taylor, the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, has been there for quite some time. Like I mentioned, Zac Taylor took the Cincinnati Bengals to the Super Bowl, and, it's insane that Zac Taylor has been in some really big time games and he doesn't even have a winning record as a head coach. I was actually shocked at what I saw. I mean, Zac Taylor's overall record as a coach is 46, 52-1. And Zac Taylor has to feel this pressure because I mentioned you got Joe Burrow as your quarterback. Some people think that Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the National Football League. And although the Cincinnati Bengals offense is their bright spot of their team, defensively, they can't get it done. But you are the head coach. You're not just responsible for the offense. you are responsible for the defense as well. The defense could be the reason why you're without a job. And the Cincinnati Bengals have got to find themselves in playoff contention. They have got to be atop of the AFC North and making a deep run into the postseason, even a shot at the Super Bowl or in the Super Bowl, in my opinion, for Zac Taylor not to possibly lose his job, because the Bengals are a really good team that have really talented players, and they are capable of winning now. So you have to wonder, can Zac Taylor be that coach to get it done? If not, then he can find himself on the street as well. Next coach is a coach that I feel like is losing his locker room, and that is Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins have had a high-powered offense ever since Mike McDaniel has become their head coach. But Mike McDaniel is, one of those coaches, I feel like, he's a player's coach. He tries to be too buddy-buddy, and that could possibly cost him his job. He is a really good offensive mind. That's not the problem. The problem is that there's levels to being a head coach in the National Football League. There's a lot of coaches out there that are really good coordinators. They're just not good leaders of men. And I'm very, very concerned about the Miami Dolphins and Mike McDaniel. Is he that guy? Because I'm hearing stories about Tyreek Hill tuning out. I'm hearing about guys showing up late, showing up when they want to. And the last time we seen the Miami Dolphins, they had a joint practice. It just seemed like the players were disinterested, and it just seemed like they were unresponsive. And if they go into the season with that mind frame, Mike McDaniel can end up getting fired. He has got to get his hands on this team. He has got to turn some things around. The biggest problem is it too late? Because you already pretty much showed your hand. So if you allow certain things to take place and transpire, how can you just turn around now and just say, no, you can't do that anymore? Guys are going to call you bluff, and they're going to look at you as being disingenuous and fake. All right, so I don't know what he can do to actually turn that around, but he definitely has got to get this team together if they're going to have any success and if he's going to have a job at the end of the season.